Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the 9 PM news on the prestigious channel of Sri Lanka. I'm Niket Karunaratne.
And I'm Natalia Viravardhana. First, let's take a look at the headlines for tonight.
Leave of all postal officials has been cancelled. Postmaster General reiterates that non-compliance by postal trade unions with the government policies is extremely unfair. The central bank governor's statement on Sri Lanka fulfilling expected economic targets prior to the anticipated time frame. The United States Navy ship, the USS Santa Barbara, arrives at the Colombo harbour. Government executive officers educated on the use of artificial intelligence. A statement by Presidents Trump and Putin over the successful outcome of the talks.
On to those and other stories in detail now. The leave of all officials in the Postal Department has been cancelled with effect from tomorrow.
The relevant communique was issued by the Postmaster General SRWMRP Satkumara yesterday. The PMG, issuing a special release today, has stated that the trade union action scheduled to be conducted by several postal trade unions is unreasonable. The Postal and Telecommunication Officials Association and the Joint Postal Trade Union Front have informed of a continuous strike starting at 4 PM tomorrow at the Central Mail Exchange. They have also informed that a continuous work stoppage will also be waged at all postal and administrative offices throughout the island starting at midnight tomorrow. The striking unions have presented 19 demands. One of them is to protest regarding acting according to the instructions pertaining to overtime payments. The trade unions have also expressed their protest over instructions regarding the recording of arrival and departure in the fingerprint machine. Postmaster General Satkumar reiterates that both decisions are based on government policy and therefore conducting a strike in this connection is unjustifiable. He further points out that the department is compelled to bear 90% of its overall expenditure on salaries and overtime payments, and that under such circumstances it is unable to act in contrary to the instructions extended through audit reports. The Postal Department is currently being maintained with an expenditure exceeding the revenue by 4 billion rupees annually. The department communicates if the income status of the Postal Department is not increased, the operational loss could surpass 12 billion rupees. Sub-postmasters in 3,354 sub-post offices in the postal network have expressed that they will not participate in the strike action. Therefore, even in the midst of the trade union action, the distribution of postal items would be able to be carried out due to the cooperation extended by these officials, subjected to possible delays.
The Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, says Sri Lanka is being directed on medium and long-term basis for an economic growth rate between 4 to 5%. He also points out that the country would be able to reach the anticipated target prior to the required time frame, changing even the global economic predictions.
What's important is to look at how we have achieved this recovery from contraction of 7% in 2022 and started the recovery from second half of 2023, second half and 24 full year 5%. This year first half also it will be close to 5%. Based on the IMF expectation for us to maintain the sustainability, we had to grow at least 3% medium to long term. But now already we have been almost close to 5%. Going forward, I think if we can achieve at least 4 to 5%, we will be reaching our targets much faster than what we thought. So the challenges obviously are, we need to maintain the same momentum implementing important reforms. Going forward, one important is to achieving the stability. Overall macro stability has been now achieved. We need to preserve and gain that we achieve stability going forward. That's a fundamental necessity for us to maintain the price stability, financial stability, fiscal consolidation, and debt sustainability. Those are the key pillars of macro stability. This is essential for us to maintain that stability going forward. Growth will be based on the foundation of stability. So for us to achieve growth, there are challenges obviously. Then you need to have structural reforms implemented rightly and timely manner for us to expand the capacity of the country to grow faster than what we think, what we see now.
So since the economic crisis of 2022, we've seen higher taxes, we've seen market-linked energy prices, we have interest rates rising up to 30% from 9% previously. These are all big shifts.
Of course.
How do you think that the Sri Lankan economy has truly stabilized? Businesses and households now feel that it's healthier and they're willing to spend again?
Yeah, I think they are better than compared to the crisis year, but they are not yet, in terms of household incomes, business incomes, they are not yet reached the level that they had before the crisis, that I have had, because once country hit with the crisis, it will take at least 4 to 5 years to come back to the same level, recover the output loss. In our case, within 3 years, we have almost reached there. In my view, within next year or so, we will obviously reaching more than the levels in terms of employment, the poverty, incomes and cost of living, and incomes will be comparable with the high cost of living within next couple of years. So basically, which means within 3 to 5 years, we will be able to reach levels where we were before. That's the path we think. It's not a quick fix. Once you lost the output, it will take some time to recover with all the reforms. It will take some time, but I think we have made a progress faster than what anyone expected earlier.
The new 20% tariffs on your apparels and garment industry, that's a big hit to your exporters. How much damage could this cause in terms of foreign earnings as well as jobs, local jobs in Sri Lanka? And how quickly do you think you can pivot to other markets for your products?
Now this 20% tariff, if we compare the first announcement 2nd of April by President Trump, it was 44% for Sri Lanka. Then we negotiated down to 30% a month ago, and final announcement was 20%. So 20% is the status quo compared to our competitors or similar countries, those who are exporting to the US market. Say for example, Indonesia, Vietnam, Bangladesh, all are almost same levels. So we are not worst off. But in our view, we are in the same position as we were before the April tariff announcement compared to other countries. Obviously, level is high. The higher level of tariffs would probably part can be absorbed by our businesses, exporters, part will have to be absorbed by the supply chain in the US. That's how they have to manage it. But still, in terms of comparison, we are not worse off compared to where we were. We actually, in terms of sometimes when you look at it, we are sometimes better off compared to some, for example, India and China as are having higher level of tariffs. There could be some trade diversion happening if that continues in this way. There will be opportunities. There will be better opportunities for our exporters, given we are at 20% compared to other countries. So in our expectation, there is no downward revision, or there's no downward kind of expectation in terms of growth, foreign exchange earnings at the current levels. But what is uncertain is that whether these things can change. For example, yesterday, the US announced that another 3 months basically was given to China to negotiate further. No one knows the outcome of that negotiation. So we have to closely monitor. Right now, we are in a better position.
Deputy Minister Dr. Anil Jayantissa Fernando says that the aim of the government is to turn the Sri Lanka Customs into an institute which won the confidence of the people within a short period. Meanwhile, Director General of Customs Sunil Noni says the Sri Lanka Customs has earned its biggest revenue in history last month. Opinions pertaining to the customs were revealed at the occasion of the vesting with the general public web-based customs document notification system, a service designed to enhance transparency, accessibility and efficiency in the clearance process of exporters and importers. The ceremony was held at the auditorium of the Customs headquarters in Colombo yesterday. Deputy Minister Dr. Anil Fernandez said that they are being confronted with the charge that spending more time on the clearance of items in order to overcome this situation. It is necessary to fully automate the procedure. The minister has expressed hope of the ability to reduce a substantial time in cycle via a documentation notification system. Director General of the Sri Lanka Customs Sunil Noni said that they have a massive target of collecting 2,115 billion rupees of revenue this year. The next aim is to fulfill the income target of 1,300 billion rupees by the end of the month. The Sri Lanka Customs has so far earned 1,351 billion rupees. The Customs Director further said last month's customs revenue was 235 billion rupees, which was the highest monthly income in the history of Sri Lanka Customs.
Now, several sectors have expressed their opinions regarding a recent parliamentary statement by parliamentarian Dr. Harsha De Silva made in a manner of tarnishing the close relations between Sri Lanka and India. Venerable Nalagama Dhammavasatera said that persons like Harsha De Silva are making a great damage to the country through their irresponsible statements. The Thera adds that they condemn in the strongest terms these attempts at a time when the President is making an enormous contribution to restore the economy. Parliamentarian Devananda Suravira said that opportunist politicians say one thing to the country and another thing to the world. What the politicians like Harsha want to see is the breaching of diplomatic relations between India and Sri Lanka.
ඉන්දියාව අතර බෙදීමක් තියෙනවා ඉන්දියාවට අපේ රජය hina වෙනවා ඉන්දියාව අතර තියෙන මේ රාජතාන්ත්‍රික බැඳීම් සම්බන්ධයේ පොඩි කැලලක් ඇති කරගන්න තමයි එතුමගේ ප්‍රකාශය එන්නේ අපි දැක්කනේ දැන් අර
Deputy Minister Sunil Vatagala said that the opposition is acting through jealousy. If there is a force better than the National People's Power, they could follow such a movement. In the absence of such a force, the NPP is striving forward using the mandate given by the people to realize the expectations of the nation.
A bus accident on the Pothuil-Vellavai main road this morning has killed one person and injured 22 others. An SLTB bus and a private bus carrying pilgrims has collided near 255-kilometer post. The police says the SLTB bus heading towards Monaragala from Dambagala clashed head-on with the private bus came in opposite direction. The SLTB bus driver injured in the incident has died upon admission to hospital. He was 32-year-old and a resident of Rualwela in Dambagala. The Monaragala police station is conducting inquiries. A ground Niladari travelling in a motorcycle on official duty was killed when his motorcycle collided with a private bus in Kaikavala, Matale. The victim was a 35-year-old resident of Kaikavala, Matale.
Now, Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says the joint collaboration of the state and private sectors will enable to win future challenges without obstruction. He has made these remarks at a ceremony conducted at the Provincial Ayurvedic Hospital in Jayatissa yesterday. The event was conducted in connection with the 50th anniversary of the Jayatissa Provincial Ayurvedic Hospital. Residents in the area were enlightened on the Ayurvedic medicinal system and treatments. The hospital has been set up to uplift the health services of residents in the estate sector. A medical exhibition was also organized in parallel to the 50th anniversary celebrations of the hospital. Meanwhile, the Bandaraville Base Hospital was declared as the first base hospital amalgamated through the Western and Ayurvedic systems of medicine under the patronage of Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa. The hospital was also vested with the people as the 7th base hospital in the Uva province. It is also considered as the first hospital established as an Ayurvedic wellness centre. Minister Samantha Vidyaratna and Uva province Governor Kapila Jayasekara were among those who have attended the event. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa has requested Sri Lankan doctors who were educated at the expense of the taxpayers and who left for specialist medical training abroad to return to the motherland. The minister has recalled that Sri Lankan general public has spent large sums of money and made extreme sacrifices for the education and training of these doctors.
Now, development news. A cooperative rural bank was established in the Madirigiriya Divisional Secretariat Division for the farming community yesterday. It is comprised of latest technology and facilities enabling to engage in transactions with all banks. Minister Vasantha Samarasinghe, presiding over the opening ceremony, said that a system to upgrade the economic level of the rural population will be established by enhancing their incomes and savings. A program to provide bakery products at concessionary prices is being operated at the premises of Mavaramandiya Cooperative Society in Kiribathgoda with effect from today. The opening ceremony was attended by a group including Minister of Housing and Urban Development Anura Karunathilaka. A new solar power station constructed by the Vidal Solar Power Private Limited, a subsidiary of well-known company in Sri Lanka's renewable power sector, the Vidal Lanka Company, was declared open today. We are going in for a short break and we'll bring you more local news right after this.
වැඩටදේ තෝරන්න රසකුණේ කරගන්න මේ හැමදේ දෙන අපි කැමතිම දේ ප්‍රීමා ස්ටෙලා අපි හැමෝම කැමති.
Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Welcome back, and we have more local news. The United States Navy warship USS Santa Barbara arrived at the Colombo port today.
The vessel docked to refuel and resupply while carrying out operations in the Indian Ocean region.
This is USS Santa Barbara. A littoral class ship belongs to the world's largest forward deployed fleet. Because of this unique design, this ship has a high speed and excellent maneuverability. From the National Channel, we had an opportunity to visit this ship. Let's go and check it out.
The USS Santa Barbara is a littoral combat ship and part of the US Navy's 7th Fleet, the world's largest forward deployed naval force. The fleet's primary mission is to maintain stability and maritime security across the Western Pacific and Indian Oceans through operational control, planning and cooperation with regional partners. Because of its unique design, the USS Santa Barbara is known for high maneuverability and speed, making it a versatile asset in naval operations. This vessel does not operate like an ordinary ship, but functions in the manner of a jet ski. Its power is such that it can release, within 10 seconds, a volume of water sufficient to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool. It is one of the latest crafts in service with the US Navy, produced only about 2 years ago. These types of vessels are mainly used for coastal security operations and for removing naval mines. They're also deployed in shallow waters and coastal areas where larger warships or vessels cannot reach to conduct both combat and operational missions. Around 160 personnel serve on board this vessel.
We have the captain of the USS Santa Barbara. Sir, can you please tell me about the specialty of this ship?
So the littoral combat ship is a shallow draft, fast sprinting ship that allows us to op in and around the littorals or the areas close to land, but at the same time maintaining a deep blue water ability to go across major oceans at speed and provide power anywhere in the world.
To witness the arrival of the vessel, Sri Lanka's State Minister of Defence Arun Jayasekara, Defence Secretary Sampathu Yakonta, Navy Commander Vice Admiral Kanchana Banagoda and US Ambassador to Sri Lanka were present.
The arrival of the USS Santa Barbara, a littoral combat ship built for speed, agility and advanced operations, is more than just a port call. It reflects a strong and growing relationship between our nations. For over 75 years, The United States and Sri Lanka have worked together to advance shared goals of economic prosperity, security, and stability. The Indian Ocean is vital to global trade, and Sri Lanka's strategic location makes it a key player in ensuring the security of these sea lanes. Together, we are committed to combating threats like drug trafficking, human smuggling, transnational crimes, and contributing to a safer, more prosperous region.
This US warship's arrival highlights the growing security cooperation between Sri Lanka and the United States in the Indian Ocean region.
The US Navy has supported Sri Lanka Navy in many ways. The arrival of USS Santa Barbara to Sri Lanka is a powerful symbol of relations between Sri Lanka and the USA. I'm Danushka Madhavila from Rupavahini News.
Minister K.D. Lalkanda says that the present government will intervene to find speedy solutions to rectify the shortcomings in the surveying field in the previous regimes. The minister, addressing the 99th annual conference of the Government Surveyors Association, further said these discrepancies had paved the way for massive losses. The annual session was held in Thalawattugoda, which was attended by officials of the Ministry of Land and members of the Survey Officials Association. Minister K.D. Lalkanda said that in the recent past there was no recognition for state service, which was irregular in actions. The present government is in the process of creating the economic basket in a manner of recording and economic growth. The Survey General's Department has a tremendous task to perform to realize the government's objectives.
In the meantime, a special workshop for government executive officers on the use of artificial intelligence to transform the public service into a productive and efficient service was held yesterday at the President's office. The event was held under the patronage of President Secretary Dr. Nandika Sanath Kumar Nayaka. The objective of the workshop was to raise awareness and prepare government officials as an initial step in the state's digital transformation agenda and to foster a positive attitude towards artificial intelligence within the public service. The meeting was organized by the Ministry of Digital Economy with the support of the Presidential Secretariat. It was attended by executive officers from 10 ministries, including the Prime Minister's office and the Cabinet office. Senior Presidential Advisor on Digital Economy, Dr. Hans Vijay Surya, has delivered the keynote address of the workshop. Resource personnel included member of the Board of Directors of the ICTA, Harsha Purasinghe. Now, the Grand Randoli Perahara of the Banil Raj Mahavihara is currently parading the streets.
The sacred casket is being carried by the majestic tusker Kataragama Vasana. The Ransivili Perahara was conducted last evening. The Mahasangha, headed by Chief Incumbent of Banil Raj Mahavihara, Venerable Dr. Banil Raj Thera and Venerable Borlesgamu Premratana Thera of the Vihara were present before the commencement of the parade. Minister of Buddha Shasana and Cultural Affairs Dr. Hiniduma Sunil Senavi and Deputy Minister Attorney at Law Sunil Watagala have also graced the occasion. Large numbers of devotees were lining up the road to watch the Perahara.
And now we'll take a look at some more local news items in brief. 2 suspects have been apprehended with a stock of Kerala cannabis valued over 50 million rupees in Bangalavattha, Vattala last evening. The raid was conducted in parallel to the island-wide anti-narcotic operations by the Sri Lanka police. The suspects of 43 and 49 years of age were residents of Grand Pass. A former Samagi Janabalavegya member of the Sitavaka Pradeshya Sabha, who was reported to have assaulted and scolded in abusive language the OIC of the Traffic Division of the Paduka Police Station inside the office, has been arrested. The injured OIC is undergoing treatment at the Homagama Base Hospital. The suspect was scheduled to be produced before the courts. A pilot project to maintain at an optimum level the vehicle transport, including buses on the Hatton-Colombo main road during the night time, has got underway since last night. The program being conducted by the Wattavilla police station aims to create a conducive mental status among vehicle drivers by allowing them to minimize their stress and tiredness. Accordingly, the drivers and passengers are being provided with tea and also presented short video clips which arouses their amusement. The ultimate objective is to minimize road accidents during the night hours. The 14th National Boy Scout Jamboree centering on the Anuradhapura district has commenced yesterday. The theme was Sondaruloak, or an enchanting world. Around 10,000 Boy Scouts throughout the island are expected to participate in the event at the Valisinghe Harishchandra Stadium. The book titled Argala Geetayanhi Sannivedana Artha, authored by veteran media person Kapila M. Gamage, was vested with the people at the Mahaveli Centre in Colombo yesterday. It is a work in poetic form based on political struggles and citizen societies in the world. Minister Bimal Ratnayaka, artists, literary persons and media persons have attended the event. Funeral of former State Minister Lohan Ratwatta will be conducted in Nittiwelakandi tomorrow evening. The remains lie at present at the Mahaya residence of the late senior minister. And that's all the news we have from home. Stay tuned for foreign news coming up next.
Welcome back, and we got foreign news for you. US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin have held their first face-to-face meeting in Anchorage, Alaska, aimed at making progress towards ending the war in Ukraine and easing tensions between Washington and Moscow.
Both leaders arrived at Elmendorf-Richardson Base in Anchorage, where they were greeted each other on a red carpet with a handshake before traveling together in the US President's vehicle to the meeting venue. Kremlin officials said the private talks began as a one-on-one, but quickly expanded to include two senior aides from each side. From the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff joined President Trump. From Russia, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and Foreign Policy aide Yuri Ushakov joined President Putin. The talks lasted about 3 hours. Kremlin envoy Kirill Dmitriev told Russian media the meeting went incredibly well. At a joint press conference, President Trump described the discussions as productive, saying some progress had been made but that no agreement was reached. He said he would speak to NATO allies and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
Welcome back, and we are back with the sports news. New jersey of the Sri Lanka cricket team was unveiled yesterday. The Sri Lankan cricket says it has been presented in connection of the three forms of cricket: one-day, T20 and Test. The jersey has been turned out by taking into consideration of the comfort and the breathing ability of the players. The latest wear would be able to be witnessed in the upcoming Sri Lanka-Zimbabwe cricket tour.
And that's all the news we have for today. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.